Good news, everyone. This episode of Flipper Flicks is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. We recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. I hope you enjoy this episode.
Cue the singing giraffes!
Hey dudes and dudettes, welcome back to Flipper Flicks. What's the haps?
Hey
That's a
yo.
bad play for our movie we just watched, but I haven't introed in a while, so
You haven't.
welcome to Flipper Flicks again, where we review movies unprofessionally and are very, I don't know, subjective? Yeah? No? I don't know. We're very opinionated about certain things and here and there. But anyway, I digress.
And we sing a lot.
Yeah, we do like to get into our singing here and
Yeah.
there. Am I doing the synopsis or am I passing the torch
No,
here?
you're going to pass the torch, but sir, may I ask you your name?
I don't. Did I not say Flipper Flicks? No. Tim.
Tim. We're going to go with Tim.
Yep. We'll use that one.
So my
for
name's
now.
Adam. Yeah, you can use my name as Adam. But Sam, you can't use my name. That's my name today.
Okay.
But we are on social media. You can catch us at FlipperFlix on Instagram and Twitter. And we release our episodes at 1 p.m. Eastern time zone on Thursdays. Woo, Thursdays. You can find them on any sort of podcasting platform near you, whatever your favorite is. And if we are not there, please let us know. We'll try and get ourselves on there.
Yeah, and just in case we have, I'm Sam, by the way.
That's Sam.
Just in case we have any, like, super fanatic fans, we also have an IMDb page. It's really weird. Apparently you can put podcasts on there. So
Podcast?
What?
You said potty.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we are, right?
Podcast.
Yeah,
We're,
podcast.
oh, we're a trash podcast?
I mean, anywho, I've been trying to update that so it looks kind of wonky, but like anybody can make contributions to it. So if
Yeah.
you feel so inclined, feel free. Or if you just feel like, being like, checking out our
You
IMDb.
can write some amazing trivia.
Yeah.
Like, here's my favorite trivia about us, is that we find our trivia from IMDb. It's the
Well.
most ridiculous trivia.
I'm sorry if we ruined your life there, but
I know. I
We
saved you a few clicks.
are you trying to tell me that you don't know all of this right out of your brain?
Well, I plug into the computer sometimes and I'm like, download, but
Okay. I'm glad we cleared that up.
yeah.
So I discovered something about myself. Apparently, M. Night Shyamalan's my favorite director.
Did you not know this?
You've
You've listed like 10 movies that you love by him, but
yeah,
you didn't know it was
I was
M.
just
Night?
looking at a list of like his movies, and I was like, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that's my favorite movie. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. I was like, oh shit. I guess he's just my favorite director now.
What's funny is I knew this about you.
Yeah, I figured I've just forgot and remembered again. That's where I'm sitting at right now. Because not
Well, I'm
only did
glad-
we watch this, but we watched the entire series of Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Yes, that's a great.
Because I've seen them all, and she had
Yeah.
only seen Split. I was like, how?
Oh, I love
so I had to
Split.
make her watch them. Yeah.
Unbreakable's good, Glass is good.
Yeah, that's a tough series because, like, I saw Unbreakable back in the day, right? Because that one's kind of older, and I really liked it. And then Split was just so good.
Yeah.
So
James
I
McAvoy.
understand seeing that one because there was kind of like a gap, and then Glass was just amazing. So, like,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, the
Good.
funny thing about Split was
Approve.
apparently, so I don't know how correct this is, but I read that Unbreakable, M. Night couldn't get a sequel for it. So
Oh.
he threw out this movie, and which was the sequel, but didn't tell anyone, and then at the end throws in Bruce Willis.
Ah.
He decided to be like,
then-
okay, Bruce.
But I don't know how
Brucey.
accurate that is. Like, he couldn't get an actual, like, the production for a sequel. I don't know. That was like the word, I guess, that I've read about. And then he was able to get this movie and it was always the sequel to Unbreakable. But
Well, he had a couple stinkers after, like including this one. It was considered.
well, yeah.
He had a rough couple years.
Yeah, I can't say this is his best movie, but we probably should tell people what it's about at this point.
Yeah, Sam, what is this movie about?
So, if you couldn't tell from Tim's intro, we watched The Happening. You know, you combine the haps with our discussion of M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to pull that together. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you that's what movie we reviewed.
Also, we said it on like Instagram.
I'm just kidding.
At this point, like twice.
I'm definitely going to tell you what movie we review.
Also, you did select this on your podcasting app, so you should know.
Oh, that's true.
The title of the episode is called "The Happening." Dash recommendation.
We're not going to demean our listeners. I'm going to tell them, okay? Just in case they accidentally ended up here from autoplay or something.
That's true.
So, last week, we rolled our first ever recommendation, which is exciting, right?
Yep.
And this was our first recommendation by one of our friends, and...
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah. Justin, you suck. That's what I'm going to say. But we'll get to that. So, all right, we watched The Happening. And the synopsis for this one is a science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide.
Ooh.
Oh, so spooky. And the ratings were 18% by critics. That's rough. That's rough, buddy. 24% by the audience. Also rough.
We're going up, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
They are trending upwards. And then we have 5 out of 10 by IMDb. Still trending upwards.
Continuing
to go up. This is a nice line graph. Good job, The Happening. And then we have a 75% by Google. And I'm sure we've talked your ear off about Google, but this, I mean, man, they were not very nice to give it a 75 versus a 90.
No, that straight line that you're talking about, if you remove the critics, it's almost perfect. 25, if it round up to 25%.
True, yeah.
Whoa.
5 and then 75.
Shut up with your math brain.
Do you think that it's a conspiracy?
You think in numbers.
You know what? They just tried to make math cool in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking hard. But, okay, so expectations. Tim, you saw this back in probably around 08, 09.
Right.
Wait, before you get into that, spoiler alert. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah, so back in 08, I remember, or, you know, when I watched it, I'm pretty sure it was like when it came out. There's a lot of hype around it and a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And so I had to watch
still
it
is,
naturally.
Yeah.
And you had like this, you were just drew to the movies.
Right. I mean, I
M.
like
Night Shyamalan.
good movies. I like bad movies. So I just, you know, you dive in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this time around, I was fairly certain that I remembered everything.
Oh, yeah?
And then
everything that happened?
Huh?
Everything that happened?
Yes, everything that happened. I mean, there's not much, you know, there. So anyway, my expectations were, you know, just to sit back and reminisce, I guess, on a movie that was not bad. It had a good idea, but was poorly executed. That was my expectations. Like, I wasn't gonna get surprised by like I don't know, like, oh no, I like this movie enough back in the day, or it's not a cult classic, or I don't know. It's hard to figure out what I'm saying. Anyway, basically, I was expecting to enjoy everyone else's reactions to this. I really wanted to hear your guys' thoughts and stuff on it, so that was what I was waiting for. So there you go, my long rant of my expectation. Scene.
And cut. Just kidding.
And we're done. All right, thanks for...
Let's see, what were my expectations? My expectations were, so Justin, our friend, has been trying to get us to watch this for the podcast since, like, the beginning.
Since, like, May.
Yeah, so
April
very
or May.
early. And so I was like, okay, like, it's either a bomb-ass movie or it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't see a ton of movies, so you assume it's going to be bomb-ass.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I should have said that. He is a person that doesn't watch a lot of movies. Like, and I, like, conversely, I think we as a trio watch a lot of movies, right?
Yes.
So, like, that was also kind of one of the things that was, like, had me kind of in the middle, I guess, with my expectations, was because, like, you know, I survived Swept Away, so how bad could it be was what I was thinking. But yeah, so I would say I was, like, kind of firmly planted in the middle, trying to see which way people sway. And then, Adam, what were yours?
Justin told me that when he first recommended it, he's like, dude, you got to watch The Happening for it. And I was like, okay, I'll try and fit it into one of our categories. This is before we got our recommendations. I had been trying to fit this in for like a couple months before we even decided to redo our wheel.
Yep. Then
Justin told me, I had to confirm this with my wife, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we walked out of the movie theater on this one. So I had that expectation going in from the start.
You mean he walked out because it was so great, right?
Yeah.
People walk out of movies because they're so great, right? That happens.
Definitely. I walk out, go get a popcorn refill.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes,
True. Well, sometimes they're just so long, you gotta walk out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta make sure you're still alive at that point. Anywho, I guess we should also tell you where we watched it. So this one is not available at the moment on any streaming platform. So we rented this bad boy on Google Play. I think it was like $4.99.
$3 or $4.99.
Something like that. Whatever
Yeah,
rentals.
I think it was like $4. Yeah.
Yeah, these day and age are. So, like, I would recommend if you have it on DVD or someone you know has it on DVD, that might be the route to go rather than dropping, like, some cash money on it. But also, I mean, what else do you have to do right now? You might as well watch it, right?
This is true.
Right.
That's kind of what I think. So I guess maybe I'll get into my first beef point.
Wow, we're just starting, and
yeah, sorry.
Might as well. Wait. I'm just really interested in hearing your guys' thoughts, because for me, I was just like, I don't know. I couldn't, like, get into the mindset because I knew what was going to happen. So it was just like, it was really hard for me to take notes. But anyway, go ahead.
So I really want to know, before we start, how big of a restaurant we're talking here.
It's actually not that big. It's probably like a mom and pop shop. Although, I really had to think about how to classify this, because it's not necessarily the amount of beef that I have, whereas the patties are very large.
They're
and in
thick
charge.
with it?
Yeah, so like, it's a small establishment. So maybe it's like a food truck with stuffed burgers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's not really that big.
So let's hear that first beef point.
Okay, I'm just going to say that I knew right away that this was going to be a fun movie when the opening credits came on. And there was white text in front of white clouds. And I was like, who in their right mind was like, you know what? That's a good idea. People can totally read that the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, and I tried to explain it away in my head and be like, oh, well, it's supposed to be kind of spooky or something like that. But really, all you needed was an outline on the text.
Did you like how M. Night spelled his name in cloud?
Yeah.
For him?
I don't think I noticed that. I was too distracted by the white on white.
He did.
That's nice.
It was a nice little perk.
This is a nice
Why didn't they just do all the names in
clouds?
Because then it would have looked like a kid's movie.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, and I know that that's like a very minor beef point to a lot of people. Like, really? You're gonna, like, shit on that, of all things to shit on? But, like, that's one of those small things that, like, most people will be like, okay, you're just a dick. But I'm like, no. That irks me. Now,
It does. It does irk her.
Does anybody else have anything, I guess, from, like, the beginning?
Yeah, it was too long.
The beginning? Yeah, you mean like when they just put the song Let the Bodies Hit the Floor on? Or was it It's Raining Men?
It's a raining. Well, yeah, I don't think a woman actually jumped off the building. So.
Right. It was all construction men. Now, with that being said, do you think that the songs Let the Bodies Hit the Floor and Raining Men are from the same universe? Like, the two songs coexist together?
Well, no, this is a very interesting tangent you've got us on, but but I like it. It's Raining Men is more of like a
happy song?
Yeah.
It's a much
thirsty song. How's that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Whereas Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, I'm pretty sure is straight up about death, right?
Yeah.
But, like, wouldn't it be funny if Let the Bodies Hit the Floor lyrics are also a thirsty song and it just has, like, that hard cover to it? That'd be hilarious.
That would be funny.
Somebody do that for me, please. I would really appreciate that. I just like things that are, like, cognitively dissonant like that. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Much like this movie.
But Yeah, they started off with all the walking people walking backwards, and then go to the people dropping from the roofs.
That was also kind of weird that they were walking backwards.
I know. It was happening.
The way that they looked, like, was very odd, and I know that that was on purpose, but, like, I don't know. It felt like something that was supposed to, like, very much creep you out, but just kind of made you laugh.
But why did the one girl not get affected?
The first girl?
Yes, everybody around her got affected.
I don't know.
Tim?
So I have two theories on it. One of them is to let the audience in to know like some shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah.
And the other one is just dropping like maybe there's potentially people that are immune without saying it, or because we're in the very early stages of what would have been, but they're not going to dive deep into like the solution by the end of the movie. So it's kind of like maybe that's somebody that is immune. But those are my two thoughts on it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, what if she, like, has something weird?
She had something in her body that blocked the neurotransmissions that caused...
Yeah.
Like, there'd be a percentage of people, like, something natural, a natural chemical like that. It would only make sense that somebody would be resistant to it.
They don't explore that. Come on, Ma'am Knight.
Olfactory nerve or something, and so I can't get in.
Dun, dun, dun!
I'm just kidding. I don't think that that's how that works, but I'm going to roll with it.
Yes.
So I'm going to say a beef point for Sam because she called it out during the movie. So we had the girl that doesn't get affected, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting on the park bench with her friend who is confused because that's what the toxin did.
Right.
Girl just pulls out that like hair spike and just jabs herself in the neck. Sam's like, that's not sharp.
Yeah, speaking as a girl that was in her, like, preteens and teens in the 2000s when those things were popular, they are not that sharp. And they're not even pointed, most of them.
That one was rounded.
No, it was, like, pointed but rounded.
Yeah.
But the ones that I had were flat on the bottom. So even more so, like, I'm not saying that you couldn't. I'm just saying that it would take a lot more effort than it looked like.
Yeah.
I would say it's very possible.
I'm saying it's possible.
Abilities, yeah. But not a square one. Like a square one, you'd be like, God, go in. But like a rounded one, she probably would have struggled a lot more than that to actually get it to go in. But
I think that was my confusion, is the lack thereof effort.
Yeah, but
she just kind of just slid that bad boy into her throat. Yeah, I know.
But my beef is that they don't even look like that.
Oh, yeah.
They're not pointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a double patty.
Yeah.
Okay, now somebody's going to go look it up and find a pointed one. But the ones that I had were flat, and then she's just like, doink, and it's all good.
Yeah.
But while we're on this subject of convoluted killing yourself, like, let's talk about the guy that just feeds his arms to lions.
That was one of the most popular scenes when the movie came out, and everybody was hating on it. Like, dude just got fed to a lion. That in
it was real life?
Tractor.
Oh, the tractor
So,
was interesting.
Or the lawnmower, rather, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lion scene was supposed to be more graphic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because okay, so, like, I get it in the sense that, like, he is a zookeeper, right? Or, like, an animal keeper specialist, whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, in theory, one of the quickest ways to kill yourself would be to, like, feed yourself to the animal. So, like, I kind of get that, but I think part of my beef was that it was just, like, kind of, like, it was the fake blood packets that were, like, that comes out of his arm. Like, I feel like if he was gonna do that, like, I don't know, could we have got some better blood packs or something? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't, like, maybe it's not as crazy and people just like to hate on it because it's utterly ridiculous, but, like, I don't know.
Originally, that scene was supposed to be a lot longer. That one, the porch shooting scene, and they had a piano recital scene, all like in this, and the rating system sent it back and was like, currently your movie is rated NC-17.
Damn!
Please reduce these scenes in order to get it to be rated R.
Wow.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Which I don't really understand. What, like, you had to be 17 to see a rated R film and 17 to see see an NC-17 film.
Yeah, I've never gotten that.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
make
don't
sense.
think, yeah.
I just assumed the other NC-17 meant porn.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting that the porch scene was longer, too, because...
I don't know what could have been... Like,
Longer
do they just
about
shoot
it.
them more?
Maybe? Because it didn't, that scene specifically didn't seem like, I mean, yeah, like we're just talking about, they get shot. Like, what else are you going to do with it? Shoot them some more?
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know. And that's weird to me that would have to be reduced anyways, even if they did, like, shoot them some more, talking about all the blood and guts that we see these days. But it was the early 2000s, so maybe the
late 2000s
standards, whatever, the standards were different.
I'm going to move us on to the main character, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I'm going to just say this. The most unbelievable factoid of this movie is that Mark Wahlberg plays Sorry, he's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He is a science teacher. And that, to me, is the most unbelievable fact of this film.
Really?
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
That's an interesting beef patty to have.
Yeah, well, I believe that there could be a neurotoxin that could cause this. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's not unbelievable to me. Do I think that the world will freak out in that manner? Actually, I don't. I don't think that people would start... I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that, actually. I don't know.
Are you just talking about how there was like the chaos and stuff and people like just leaving each other behind and shit?
Yeah, that part I'm not sure about. I'm like 50-50. It could happen in some areas, in others it won't.
It just depends.
I mean, I've driven the roads when there's a run on gas for hurricanes, and it looks very similar to that. So I would say yes.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So, okay. There you go. But still, Mark Wahlberg, being a science teacher, is the most unbelievable part of this film. And then, also, so a lot of movies, you can see the couple together, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Him with Zooey Deschanel just looked weird to me. Dash Channel? Yeah, Dash Channel and Mark Wahlberg just looked like an odd pairing. I don't know. That's me personally.
Well, then it fits for the whole conflict they had going on.
Yeah, there you go.
And then what's his name? Julian, his best friend, is like, I saw her crying at your wedding in the bathroom.
Yeah, he hated her.
Is that what he said?
he hated her.
He did hate her.
Dude was like, oh, we're talking about end of the world. Don't touch my kid unless you mean it.
Yeah, he snapped real hard.
Yeah.
But understandable, I guess.
I think one of the most unbelievable parts about this movie
Was that Mark Wahlberg was a science teacher, I know.
was the fact that Mark Wahlberg owned a mood ring.
Yeah. They
That
tried to
seems like
make the whole story behind it and stuff be sentimental,
Yeah.
but it's a fucking mood ring.
Exactly.
Give me a break. You just walk around wearing that fucking honky doodle thing. I don't know. And plus, they don't look like that. They look like
That's what I was
circle.
gonna say.
They're not a giant gem.
Yeah, like I have seen a lot of mood rings in my day, and none of them look like that.
I've never seen one like that.
It was massive.
Yeah, that was craziness.
But he went back for it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He left the house and was like, no, I gotta grab this. That's the first thing he's grabbing when he's evacuating.
Well, I guess he's just very invested in his mood ring.
Yeah.
He needs to know how to feel.
Yeah, true.
Like, he needs to know to explain to the world, how am I supposed to feel right now?
Actually, that makes a lot of sense with him being a science teacher, kind of.
Yeah?
Like, he needs to know how to feel. He needs to have some sort of, science or reason for everything he does. So if he lashes out irrationally, he can be like, my mood ring was red! You all should have known!
You should have.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. But the mood ring was ridiculous to me. And also...
Him hitting on a student?
Huh?
the guy in the classroom
face.
who's like, hey, your face is perfect right now?
Oh, that was entertaining.
I know. I was just being stupid about that.
Well, and I really like that rant because one time at the nature center...
One time at the nature center?
I was trying to figure out if I wanted to, make that part of the story or not, but that is where it happened. My aunt, we were, hiking, and she did decide to tell me and my brother that your ears and nose never stop growing, and then we freaked out. So, that's a normal response for people that age.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that, too, around the same age. Yeah.
I think it's just, a factoid that you learn at that age, and it's very, oh, no. So I'm actually I'm gonna defend that scene as well.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Do you guys think this movie tried to make teachers cool?
Kind of.
Like, with Julian's character being like, do you just want me to give you percentages? Like, percentages comfort people.
I thought he was good, though. Like...
Yeah. Now that I think about that, actually, percentages have helped Sam in the past.
Yeah. Percentages definitely comfort me. I can't speak to the rest of you.
Yeah.
So
I was like, now
that.
I take back my beef. I'm going to throw it in the trash. It's rotten.
Mm-hmm.
But only if... Okay, well, that's a topic for a different time. But only if the percentages are legit. But it's very much like... Okay, yes, like, percentages comfort you, but also, like, it's very much like the manipulation of data that I think people, like, want to see, because then they can be like, oh, this is a threat, or, oh, it's not. But I will say, the thing that I hated about Julian, like, I thought he was pretty good, but if someone made me do math riddles to make me...
Calm,
I would...
Punch
them very hard.
Yep.
I am not good at math, nor would that calm me. That would piss me off even more. Because I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop asking me to do math word problems. I'm not taking the SAT anytime soon. Please leave me alone.
Even when I ask her to just guess a number, it's just like 5. I don't care. Just tell me.
Yeah.
I am very much not a numbers person. Well, speaking as our one numbers person in the podcast, would they calm you down to do math riddles?
No, I'd just be annoyed.
See?
Give me a regular riddle. I don't need to do
Here's
math.
how I would see that is... Because... I'm not trying to, like, say you're snooty or anything with numbers, but, like, if I were to try to give you a math riddle, I feel like you would just roll your eyes, because I would not be able to come up with something that would be difficult for you.
That's true, too.
I can't do numbers, so I would just be like, Brad, and you'd be like, really? Like, what?
You'd be like, the answer's brown.
Yeah.
That's not a number.
Yeah.
Well, the answer's brown, Adam. Mind you guys, I do have a degree in mathematics, but don't ask me about math. That part of my brain hasn't been flexed for about 7 years.
Yeah, I haven't used mine ever, so.
Mine was all theoretical too, so yeah.
I don't think that I ever had a math part of my brain.
It existed in memory.
Yeah, it was
Form.
like, I was very much like turn on Schoolhouse Rock, and that's how I knew multiplication, not because, like, I knew how to do it.
Oh, she turned that shit on yesterday too.
I did. It was great. It's on Disney Plus in case anybody needs to get their Schoolhouse Rock fixed. No, and I'm not saying that, like, I don't think that I'm dumb, but I just, I always hated word problems. So, like, for them,
Yeah.
I'm also just not very much, like, I'm not an auditory learner either, so that would
I'm not
also
either.
frustrate me.
Yeah.
Now, Frankie bought 17 watermelons. Who the hell buys 17 watermelons?
I don't know, but that's up there on, like, okay, so Ohio has their, like, what was it, that high school test that you did, like, the graduation, the OGT?
Yeah,
You guys
Ohio
remember that?
graduation test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our year, we had a word problem that was about square watermelons. And to this day, like, I don't understand the point of it because there are no square watermelons.
But you had to do it to graduate.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Ohio.
You can grow square watermelon.
Yeah, you just gotta put it in
you can, but have you seen one?
Not yet.
Like, why?
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I really
Tim's
want
gonna do it.
do it.
Tim,
Do it?
YouTube video
Yes.
every day.
You just signed yourself up for a video, so thank you for that.
Damn it!
Because I
Well-
feel like we've been signing you up.
He signed himself up.
But I was mid-rant on the square watermelon because who comes up with that sort of stuff? Are they actually people like Julian who just, like, find math
like to believe
problems
so,
soothing?
yes.
And they're like, fuck it. Let's talk about square watermelons today. That's the one. That's the one we're going to publish, guys.
Yep. Because they all have to... Those problems get reviewed like 3 times.
I know.
Before they go, like, to a test.
Or do you think that, like, Julian is the basic of the basic, right? And he's just like, here's a math problem. And then you have all these artsy-fartsy people being like, whoa, we should make it about square watermelons because that's fun.
I don't know.
I'm at a loss.
Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what your thoughts are. And have you made a square watermelon before? Because Sam is very curious and Tim needs pointers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now he's
Teach
got to grow
me.
one.
Yeah, it's still the summer. You got time, right?
Yeah.
That's how it
yeah.
works.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like they're not that hard to grow, but I could be totally wrong. Good luck with that.
Transition. I'm just going to announce it
Cheese
now.
and crackers.
Cheese and crackers. First off, it's not. What is it? Oh, the crepes one that's from Sunny.
I don't know.
Cheese and
Oh,
crepes.
it's cheese and crepes.
It's
cheese and crepes.
Cheese and crepes.
Cheese and crepes.
Cheese and
Yeah.
crepes.
That's what I always say.
specifically said cheese and crackers because that was a line from this movie.
Yes, it was.
I know. It was. And that guy, you didn't even say his best freaking line. Hot dogs get a bad reputation.
Oh my
No,
god.
he's not the guy. Well, yes.
As soon as you
that
started
is-
talking about hot dogs, that's when you're
he
like,
talked about him
oh.
for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, hot dogs get a bad rap.
What's
They
he
have a
say? You
taste-
like mustard? Or something
Yeah.
like that? It's like, dude.
You guys like hot dogs, right? They got a fun shape.
And they're packed with protein. But he's not the guy that says cheese and crepes.
Oh.
The military guy says cheese and crepes.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
the gardener.
Nah, the
No,
gardener who
yeah.
probably grows square watermelons likes hot dogs
Yeah.
very much.
I'm like 90% sure that dude was a pot head of sorts.
No, he
Like-
was a pot.
He had a lot of pot and he grew a lot of pot.
He just had some like interesting eyeballs. Or like
Yeah.
the way that he used them for expressions. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
When he said like, do you guys like hot dogs? I was like, you look like somebody that would like go on a hot dog rant. I believe
Like,
that.
that made zero sense. We're packing hot dogs. Do you guys like hot dogs? Hot dogs get a bad rep. Do you think that like Ballpark or Nathan's Hot Dogs hired him to say hot dogs as much as they can in a single movie?
No, I think it was just the character.
Yeah, I think he just had hot dogs
Yeah.
and he was very concerned that people wouldn't like hot dogs because, to be honest though, hot dogs are like, yes, they're popular, but I feel like they are kind of a divisive food.
Yeah.
Right? Like, plenty
Yeah.
of people hate hot dogs, so he's fair. I'll defend that. I'll put myself on that hill with Hot Dog Man. I liked him.
Oh yeah, his
I liked
name is
him.
literally just
But if I had to eat a
Nursery
hot dog,
owner.
I'm going to pick a brat. Or a Met.
Also, did they have a cooler? Because
yeah, they did.
Okay, because
She's like, I got the cooler back.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was one of the weird things that I was like, why are you asking about hot dogs when you're like going on a road trip and like,
Did they eat them cold?
yeah, that's the next question.
They straight up they started eating them.
I've done that.
Oh,
I've
Ew.
eaten cold brats before. We were
This is
kayaking
today I learned.
and
Ah.
we weren't allowed to make a fire, and I got really
Oh
hungry.
no.
I'm not gonna, say if
Give
we
the
tried or
details.
not to make a fire, but we were not allowed to make a fire, or we couldn't make a fire. Interpret that how you want. And so I opened the pack of what was previously frozen brats and ate them because I was very hungry.
Eats them raw.
And wriggling. Ew. Oh my.
I like food.
Well, now that you say that, I feel like as a child I did eat a cold hot dog.
I did
wasn't
not,
a child,
no.
but yes, yeah.
I
kind of
knew that
figured you were a
weren't,
full-grown adult.
But I was just saying that, like, it's not that weird to eat a cold hot dog now that we're talking about
Right.
it. Like, I feel like I was just like, Adam's looking at us like we're ridiculous, Tim. But I feel like, I mean, you also don't eat cold pizza, which is universally,
what
like,
the
something
heck?
that people eat.
It needs to be warm.
Nah.
I can
like
understand the
cheese
sentiment.
in
I would
general.
prefer it warm, but I know plenty of people that would rather have it cold.
I
Right,
like
that
it
does
better
not make
cold
sense.
Sometimes.
That doesn't
It
fully
depends
make
on the
sense
type
to
of
me,
pizza.
but like if I'm hungry and I got leftover pizza, or like if I have pizza and I know I'm gonna have it leftover, I'm not gonna have a problem eating it cold.
Well,
But-
and I think we've talked about this, right? It's an extra step to heat it up. You're a
Yeah,
lazy eater,
exactly.
Tim. So
Yeah.
eat it cold. You know what? That's not that weird.
Yeah.
Eat those brats cold.
I will take the extra steps
I know you will.
every time. Hell, I heat my pizza up in the oven because I'm the opposite of lazy in that respect.
No, because you like quality pizza, I would
I'm
say.
particular.
Like, you would, and that, I mean, that is one of the things that, like, I would have never done had I not met you, but, like, I'm very snooty about it as well. Like, I'm either eating it cold or it goes in the oven. I'm not dealing with the chewy microwave pizza.
No.
Yeah.
That's
No.
gross.
Then there's a whole nother group of skilleters.
I'm not doing that.
Skilleters?
Yeah, Justin. Hey, shout out for having us watch The Happening.
Why skillet?
Heats his pizza up on the skillet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
really confused on what you meant by that, but I got you now. I follow.
So back to this movie, and no more talking about hot dogs or frozen pizzas.
Or square watermelon.
I mean, you guys can talk about them, but do you think the terrorists are the ones who brought up the square watermelons?
Probably.
They brought up terrorists so many
They
times.
did.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. I don't know. I don't know.
Are you?
He doesn't know.
I
I
mean,
just don't- it
I'm
was
just
happening.
gonna go there. Do you really think that people wouldn't, though? I'm gonna answer that for you. They most certainly 100% would have immediately went there.
Yeah.
I'm
Things
lost.
have happened in this world.
I'm just saying that, like,
If one person drops the word terrorists, it's going to spread like
Oh,
wildfire.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what's going to be the main thought process. Like, oh, it's definitely terrorism.
Yeah, that spreads like, yeah.
Yeah. My whole thing is, why?
because saying that the plants did it is like, what?
Oh my
Right.
God. The most
the plants.
ominous villain ever. The wind.
And they had to have spent some cashola on their wind fan
Right.
thing.
The giant
because
hurricane wind
That
fan
was a
thing.
lot of wind.
Constantly. They needed it wherever they needed it. So they had to make it like creepily come at them. There was a scene where the wind was chasing them, and Sam had looked away to write something. I rolled it back because of how ridiculous it looked. This is when they so the groups were split up. Like they had two groups, and then Mr. Military Police,
Cheese and crackers, man.
Cheese and
yeah.
Crackers Man, was leading one group, and then Mark Wahlberg somehow became team leader
Of the other group, yeah.
of the other group, and then they were like, we need to split up into smaller groups when
Yeah.
the wind started blowing at them, and I'm like, oh my God. My hands were connected to my forehead the whole time.
Well, I don't know. I think
Clearly I was scared, guys.
well, yeah, obviously.
Like I had to look through my fingers.
I think that a lot of movies have these good ideas of we're not going to show you and we're going to try to make it something that would actually be people would be afraid of, right? Cuz if you think of an airborne toxin, that's very realistic, right?
Right.
And saying that the plants would give it off is also realistic to some degree. So the plot line was strong, I think, the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into making the movie and you're like, well, how do we show it? Well, let's get a big wind fan, and that's
Yeah.
where you kind of lose people.
Oh.
But I don't know how else you would show it, right?
Right.
So I get it. I'm kind of sympathetic towards it, honestly.
Yeah.
Isn't there a movie called The Mist or The
Yeah.
Fog that the
Yes.
fog they run from it?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's interesting because we just had the Blob, right? Where it's
Right.
kind of
Someone had the
similar.
audacity to compare them.
Someone had the audacity
Really?
to compare them, but I can kind of see it because it's another thing that's kind of natural, right? It comes from the meteor,
Yeah.
and then most of the movie you don't see it, but the Blob does it well, whereas I feel the wind fans were a little lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, are you telling me that you've never seen The Mist?
I haven't.
we haven't.
Hmm.
Is that something that needs to be on the list?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
You sound like you're really excited and it's your favorite movie, so I can't wait to watch it. Thanks for recommending it.
I'm so excited.
Oh, shoot.
Did you guys like that Marky Mark became team leader number 2?
It worked, yeah.
How did he become team leader?
Just,
We saw you talking to him once.
Yeah.
Hey, they literally said that. I'm like, how does that make one team leader?
I mean, I don't know. I think you guys give people way too much credit.
Am I assuming the average intellect of people from Philadelphia
is a lot higher. I'm not
Okay.
saying from Philadelphia. I'm just saying of the world. You're giving people a lot of credit. And maybe, you're just you're just good of heart, You want to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're thinking things through and they're not just panicking and being weird.
You gotta go with what is the Men in Black quote? A human can be smart, but the population is stupid or whatever. I butchered that quote.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, but Kay tells Jay, not Will Smith. I'm blanking on his name.
I think his name's Kay.
Okay, yeah,
No,
Kay.
K is what's his face? Will Smith is Jay.
Okay, yeah, Kay is telling Jay, because Jay asks, "Hey, why don't we tell everybody there are aliens?" And Kay's like, "Single human, they can be smart. They will react correctly. But if you just tell everybody at once, there will be chaos." That's paraphrasing, but it's one of my favorite quotes from the movie that I can't remember. So Can't be that big of a favorite. I just haven't seen it in a while.
I just think
Yeah.
people would be like, I agree with that 100%, but I just think people would be like totally snooty and be like, we gotta know what's going on. What's he
Right.
talking to that guy for? He already knows him.
Yeah,
You're
that's
elected
true.
team lead. Like, I get it.
And then he had to go through the fucking scientific method.
Oh
out
my
loud.
god, yeah, that was just over.
Okay, we got questions, then we got to do research, then we got hypothesis, then we got to experiment.
I like
then
how
we'll
he
analyze
started
the
with
data.
it though. He was like, "Be scientific, idiot," or whatever he said. Stupid or
Yeah.
what'd
He
say?
made up that line.
Yeah,
Apparently, he improvised it.
that's
The
that-
scientific
that-
method or the connection?
No, be scientific, douchebag.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I was like, that kind of fits my Mark Wahlberg. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really funny that I shit on him for being a science teacher in this movie. Because he literally has a quote, and he's like, I don't know what you guys want. Like, you can't blame me for trying to play a science teacher. At least I wasn't playing a cop or a crook.
Right.
That's like an actual quote from him.
Yeah. I don't understand why people get hate for trying other roles and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
No,
I
yeah,
can't say I
agree.
hated it a minute. Like, sure, it
I just
wasn't
thought it
his
was
best,
weird.
but like, it was a little weird because he's obviously pretty typecast.
Yeah.
But I
Very.
just, it doesn't bother me when people do that. Like, that's not something I'm looking at going, oh, this is just ruined because this person's doing this character and they're not supposed to be doing these characters. Like, I don't know. I don't understand that sentiment, but
And I would actually argue the opposite. Like, I would much rather see people do their range, right? Because,
Right,
like,
yeah.
for example, I think we've talked about this before, but, like, when ScarJo was just in chick flicks, I was like, I don't get it. Like,
And then
she's
she just did
a chick
Avengers.
flick. And then she just did Avengers. And then, like, I saw her in Marriage Story and she was in something else.
JoJo.
Yes. And I was like, oh, she, like, has range. I
Yeah.
like to see people, like, break out of their characters. Because, like, I don't know. Do you really expect Daniel Radcliffe to be Harry Potter for the rest of his life?
Yes.
right. I love, by the way, what he does too with his weird indie movies and stuff. I love those. I think they're
Yeah.
great.
Daniel
Right?
Radcliffe?
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't think Mark Wahlberg's done an
Yeah,
indie
no, it's
flick.
because she said Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's all great and well said, but I think he did a shitty job at as a science teacher. And that is what bothers
That's
me.
That was his
understandable.
fault.
But yeah.
I agree. I don't think it was fully his fault. I think the screenplay had a lot to do with it.
Right.
But I didn't.
I mean,
Him and Zooey Deschanel. I like Zooey Deschanel.
yeah.
And she just looked like she didn't want to be there the whole time. Which, I mean, the
But
character
that kind
probably
of was her
didn't.
character, yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree. At the same time, she kind of was just,
Blah.
I think a lot of this movie, like, the pitfalls that it had were that, like, they were trying to over-explain things. Like, for example, the scientific method thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he probably just could have been like, think about it scientifically, douchebag, and then, like, we could have, like, seen him do something.
Do the concerned face.
Yeah. Well, see, that was his fault. He should have more than one expression. But other than that, like...
Yeah, his whole face was just like frilled
Well-
brow. Is that what it is?
yeah.
Concerned the whole time.
So I think... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure at one point I thought he was gonna actually cry
Oh,
when he was
that
in
would
the
have been
train
impressive.
station and they were like talking, and then she like left on her own. I thought he was legit gonna cry, or he was gonna try to cry.
I wish
Try
he
to
had.
cry.
I'm just
Now-
saying, like it looked like he was thinking about it, but
Now, when he was talking to somebody and she's like, "Everybody in Princeton is dead." I'm talking to my daughter who lives in Princeton, and then 30 seconds later, everybody's dead in Princeton.
That was one of my favorites.
I was so just confused.
So again, like, I think that part of it was his fault. Because, like, the way
What? No.
that he delivered things was just like, oh my god, it's so cringeworthy. So there was such a big delay, and then he puts on his, like, furrowed brow, confused face and goes, everybody's dead? And then, like, whatever Mrs. Jones says, and he's like,
Oh, you're gonna kill me in my sleep.
what? No! Like, I could have
Oh,
been
yeah.
Marky Mark in this movie.
What? No.
Because of, like, that was honestly, like, the biggest beef patty I had was just his
Yeah.
delivery of the lines. And I don't know if he was, like, coached to be over the top. Like, they want, again, like, I
I'm
don't
not
know if, like,
sure.
they wanted it to be
It
that
depends
way.
on the direction of the director.
Because, like, he's not, I don't think of him as, like, an over the top
He's not.
actor, right? And so, like, That's why I was saying I think a lot of the pitfalls of this movie are just like trying to over-explain things, over-emphasize things, and then it lands into like
Awkward
outer
land.
space, and you're like, wait a minute, like that's not the regular reaction of someone.
Yeah, very robotic, sort of like not sympathetic reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like,
I think that's a maple tree.
yeah. Like, why? But I was thinking of the other one, like, when Zooey Deschanel, like, tells him about, like, dessert with Joey or whatever, and he's like, you lied to me? And then later on, when he tries to be funny, and he, like...
She gets pissed off at him?
Yeah, when he's like, I went into the whatever, the CVS, and, like, I almost bought...
I almost bought cough medicine. I didn't even have a cough.
That stuff's like $6. Like...
I thought that was pretty good. I liked that scene.
I mean, I liked that, like, line, but the way he delivered it was just, like, so silly. It didn't make sense.
I thought the best delivery was when he was talking to the tree.
Yes,
Oh,
that was
it
one of my
great.
favorites.
I'm talking to a tree. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Why am I talking to a tree?
Yeah, I'm just trying to give off good vibes here. Like,
I got some good vibrations.
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe that's why. Oh my.
Rocky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
This movie just got, like, okay, if
Whoa.
that became a beef point. I'm just giving off good vibes to be like, nope, that was a planned line. That was supposed to be a throwback. Like, I'm good with that. No longer a beef patty.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm,
Boys' teenage pop band. Rocky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
But I do have an important question for you, Tim.
Yes.
So when the train landed in Filbert, Pennsylvania,
Sure.
and they ended up at the Filbert restaurant, would you have etten there?
Hell yeah.
100%.
I was like, I knew that we would eat there.
Oh,
Hell yeah. There's a
100%.
good reason that place was packed.
Well, I assumed it was because the whole train was there and they only had one
Yeah, but then they all left in cars.
Yes.
That was the big
I noticed
me.
that.
I was like, wait, hold up. They all just... I'm pretty sure this place is a small town and it's packed. It's not on the map or whatever bullshit. And all these people are leaving in cars. I don't know. That was my big thing, yeah.
So when
So
we go
it was
to
popular with the locals. But anyhow,
when we go to Blobfest, we're gonna hit up Filbert.
is that near Blobfest?
I mean, both are in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't mean they're next.
It's not like Pennsylvania's a
But I hope
big
that they are. We're going to Filbert if it exists. Shout out Filbert's restaurant. Not even Filbert's diner.
Filbert's restaurant.
Filbert's restaurant.
The only one.
The only one.
Then, okay, what'd you guys think of Josh and Jared? I'm not even going to tell you who they are, but I'm going to say their names.
The little boys that got shot.
Damn it, you knew.
Yeah.
I mean, there were
Who
only
else
so
would they
many
be?
characters. Yeah.
All right, then name before I get to Josh and Jared, name the two main characters. Go.
Elliot.
Yeah.
Smelliot.
Okay.
And the little girl's name was... Nope.
All right, Tim, go.
Sarah? Was the little girl's
No.
name Sarah? The little girl's
Well, in
name
the context
was...
of you were asking Josh and Jared, that was very... Where we
Yeah,
were at in
like-
the storyline. It was very obvious it was those two.
That is true.
I
But
knew
But yeah,
Mrs.
I knew
Jones's
Elliot, but I
name.
couldn't remember...
Alma and
And
Jess.
we knew Julian's
Yeah,
name. Give
Jess,
us a
that's
little more
right.
credit here. We knew some names.
I know.
We don't really
I didn't
pay
know
attention
Alma's.
to names.
I didn't know Alma's name until I looked it up.
Oh, Alma. That's because it's
That's a
freaking
weird name.
Yeah, because it's normally followed by Mater.
Yeah. Well, they kept saying her name, and I was like, that's just such an odd name.
It
to
is.
have.
Yeah.
You know whose other name I remember?
Whose? Are you-
Claire's, the girl that dies at the beginning.
Oh, you mean the girl that stabs herself?
Yeah.
All right.
See, so I know character names. Come at me.
Yeah.
Just
Do you-
not the
so-
important ones, apparently.
But did you guys, back to Josh and Jared, did you guys like how Jared was trying to give him some life advice?
Yes.
I'm like, bro, you're like 14.
I liked that everyone was trying to give Marky Mark
Right.
life advice.
Like, just everybody is like, well, you should do this. Well, you should do this, Mark. I mean, Elliot.
Could you blame him, though? Dude's wearing a mood ring, and
Oh
he
my
has, like, the
goodness.
biggest dad outfits ever.
Oh, he looked like a dad, but he had no kid.
I know.
Yeah.
But I also think some of that was just the product of the time. Not the mood ring, but like the dad look.
The sneakers with
the New Balance sneakers with like
the New Balance sneakers,
the tucked in shirt into like the high jeans that are a certain wash. Or whatever.
I will say that was pretty ballin' look, Sam. I think I'm gonna go out on the town looking like that.
That's fine. Don't forget your mood ring.
Are you gonna hook me up with one?
It will be very hard to find one that looks like that, but yes, I think I'm up to the task.
Okay, good.
And then we can reenact the scene that they talk about where it's like...
Did you know that if it's yellow, it's going to make you laugh? You're going to laugh in a second?
Wait, what was the little girl's name?
Jess.
Oh.
What?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Jess was the Dash Channel's name.
No.
Jess's Dash Channel's name in New Girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. You're right.
I know. I was writing all the notes, and when I was writing the notes, I was like, Jess is the little girl. Jess is the little girl. Alma is the wife.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I had those backwards. What in the world?
Now, do you guys think if I told you guys are on back roads trying to run away from a disease
The
like
mist.
this, a mist, a neurotoxin pushed around by the wind, could you give me the exact distance of like, oh yeah, we saw some dead corpses 8 miles back. Like,
8 miles? No, unless you're measuring it. I wouldn't be like 8 miles. I'd be like 10,
5 or
12,
10?
15 minutes back. But
Yeah, I would have done it in
that's
time
also
rather
like
than.
a Cincinnati thing. But
No, I think it's a world thing. A lot of people do.
no,
time.
a lot of
No, I mean the United States does time.
right.
Outside of the United States does distance.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, I was going to say, if you're driving, like if you guys were driving, would you be more likely to be like
Nope,
8
that's
miles?
15 minutes down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I would 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever say the mileage unless it just so happened to be right next to one of those signs that said like 8 miles to Philbert. Then I'd be able to tell you that's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, because 8 miles by foot is completely different than 8 miles by car.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Feels
Clearly.
completely different.
By bike, by train.
By plane,
I think we hit them all.
rollerblades, scooters, skateboard. Okay, I'll stop.
I actually hazard a guess that the Razor scooter and the skateboard are probably pretty. They feel the same
Probably equivalent.
because you gotta like
Push.
huzzah yourself forward. Anywho.
Yeah. I thought it was just funny that they were just all down my way, 5 miles.
Yeah. And especially for people that, like, okay, presumably don't live there, right? These people all came from the train, which makes it even more ridiculous.
Not necessarily these people.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of got that these people were just coming from all over because, like, the military, the MP was coming from the base
Oh, true.
where everybody was in the barbed wires.
Ugh, I'm
Thankfully,
glad
they did not
didn't
show that.
I feel like I pictured that in my head, and like they might have shown it at some point in like a certain cut, but I feel like I'm making that up as well.
Yeah, that was not listed in the NC-17 cut.
Yeah.
Well, I think that particular, like, visual is just one that people could probably...
Yeah, I could visualize it.
Yeah.
I choose not to.
Or maybe
Yeah.
other movies have done something like that.
Well, yeah,
I've
I'm in
definitely
war
seen it in
movies.
war movies, yeah.
Definitely anything World War I related.
Yeah.
1917 in particular has one.
Okay.
Yeah, those country folks, you think of country people? Like those that live out in the wilderness, not the wilderness, but like just small town country. I typically think, oh, they're going to be friendly. Not any of the country folk we see in this movie.
There's a reason they live out that far. They don't like people.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Like the one house is like, get away.
Okay, so on that house, something that irked me. So they're like, "You're gonna let that gas in, motherfucker! Your windows are open.
Yes! And like the cracks in
There's
the
cracks in the
slats,
windows
like,
and
bro.
shit. What do you
You're
mean?"
already gonna get it.
Right.
Yes. Agreed.
Then
Beef patty.
well, then he starts singing. And I'm like, he's trying to prove he's sane, so he starts singing.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know about that one,
Country
bud.
road.
I don't know if that's a good
What
route.
song
but-
did he sing?
Uh,
I don't even remember.
Roll back water, keep on, whatever, Mississippi. That's
Yeah,
it.
man.
Roll back water.
Like, it was a very
Yeah,
odd song
yeah,
choice, too.
Yeah. Not something I would have thought of, but
No, I would. He should have gone
I
with
also
his
would
own
not
music.
have tried to sing to people to tell them that I'm not crazy. But
Hey guys, I'm not crazy. Let me just sing you a song.
Let me sing you the song of my people.
I'm not crazy. Do, 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 do. I'm not crazy.
I feel like that would have been more believable than like that odd song choice. I don't know.
But
the other part that irks me about that scene was like, I don't know, maybe this was just me, but did the guns look comical when they were like coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't just me. Like you didn't get like they didn't look. Maybe it was the music or like the slow-mo or something, but like that looked very off to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, my one thing was like Josh got shot by his shotgun.
Yes.
And the spread on that was like straight up like a foot spread. I thought
that close
like
it'd be very
a
together.
lot thinner. Yeah, like the
that
diameter.
wouldn't happen for a good 50 feet, but
right. Because I was like, yeah, shotguns are a spread shot, and in every video game ever, they spread like that, but in real life, they travel some distance before they're fully spread out.
Right. Like I said, it'd be a good 50 feet before they'd have a spread close to that, but...
Resident gun expert, Tim.
I mean, even further than that, but I'm just giving the movie like a bit of an exaggeration, but...
Yeah, it was just funny. I just saw him laying there. I'm like, huh. Did he like pull back really far and shoot?
Nope.
Nah. Also, I wasn't expecting Josh to be such a turd. Like,
yeah,
those kids seemed like normal, and then they were just banging on the door.
Yeah, so like...
Do you think the neurotoxin got to them?
That's kind of what I thought. Like, I kind of thought that it...
But they were standing atop the bodies.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird because he did seem like a switch just flipped in it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that led us to believe that there was like toxin in him, or maybe he's just a butt face. I don't know.
I think he was just
just a butt face.
Hard to tell. Unanimous agreement that he's just a butt face, so I guess that's what we're going with.
Yeah. And then you got Mrs. Jones.
Who was also a butt face.
She was fucking insane.
That lady was crazy.
Hey, I have lemon juice, and I'm sure you're going to want some of it. I guess I should invite you in for dinner.
Eyeball my lemon juice.
Eyeballing. Who calls it lemon juice?
I don't know.
A crazy lady.
And then she starts going on about her Underground Railroad house.
Yeah.
I'm like, weird flex, but okay.
I mean, that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was cool. It's literally plot development in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You're going to, at one point, hear people talking, and they're going to be in a different place than you.
Yep.
That's true. That's very true. Like, they could have, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
But I did also kind of think it was cool. I was like,
oh, it was a cool feature. Like,
no, it's sweet. Yeah.
But it was forced, yes.
It was
also,
just...
no way that place was airtight, but...
Oh, God, no.
Exactly.
Yeah, when they were like, it's going to get us, I'm like, yeah, no shit, everything's open.
It should have already gotten you, just saying.
Also, crazy bitch threw her head in the window. He should have been gotten.
I actually, like, really loved that she just kept smashing
her head and stuff. Yeah, I was like,
like,
oh, shit.
Once again, it's like one of those things where, like, okay, you have this toxin that, like, forces you to kill yourself, and just the creativity of people and how they kill themselves, just smashing her head through the window. Like, I feel like there were easier ways, especially because she came in from the garden where she could have, like, done whatever out there, specifically to smash her face.
Yeah.
Multiple times through the window. She's
But
badass.
then, did we see her officially die? Because she smashed her face through the second window, then we don't see her again. So
That's
we're led
part
to believe
of it, too. Yeah, he's like, she's dead. I'm like, you didn't see her die. I was like...
Yeah.
I was like, I was like half expecting her to smash her face through.
That would have been
Another
great.
window.
It's like she's still there and she walks over and smacks her head against their window.
Or starts like hitting her head against the door where Alma and Jess are.
Yeah.
Listen up. That's the after credit scene that I want in my life, is Mrs. Jones just like smashing her head.
Picking the
with
piece of
glass.
picking the glass out of her head.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Jesus. And then I figured the time was going to come into play when they're like 9:57 a.m.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, it went away at 9:24."
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
weird that the times were there, but I don't know. I didn't think about much of it until you just said that.
Yeah, it was like if they had shown times throughout the movie, I think it wouldn't have been like, "Oh, that time means something."
Right, yeah.
Because you could have been like, "Oh shit, we saw the time." Well, yeah, we saw the time. It was only shown once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. True.
Now, I'm going to flip back to Julian. Julian's death scene. Those fuckers just hanging when they're driving through Princeton?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucked up.
That was insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the scenes that I was like,
Yeah.
like I would have
That was a
appreciated if you
little
cut that one.
uncomfortable, Yeah.
I know, that one was...
Damn.
Like, they climbed up ladders to kill themselves. I'm like, they could have just jumped off
Like,
the ladder,
I'll take
but-
the lion scene and dude going under the lawnmower over
Mhm.
seeing some, like,
People just
freshly
hanging.
hung people. Holy fuck, yeah.
Yeah, and wouldn't you just see that and turn the fuck around?
Right, that's what I don't get. So I had that point
Yeah.
too. Like, so those two cars, the difference with his friend, like they went in through. Also, they wouldn't be able to make that car airtight. It was a fucking Jeep.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
Plus, cars
Jeep
aren't built
Wranglers.
that way. You're gonna have hole. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they drive straight into it.
Tim's
Like,
very upset.
yeah, they drive straight into
Resident
it like,
car
oh
expert.
yeah, I guess it's gone, and then it's just like they're dead. And then the other
Dude
group
gets
is like stops down the road
launched.
because they see bodies. And it's like, yeah, that's what you would want to do. Why would you? I had that beef too. It's like, why are they?
Well,
Driving
so
into this
I've
shit.
got 2 points to this.
Mm-hmm.
Julian's group literally destroys Marky Mark's hypothesis
Yeah.
of
True.
we need to be in like smaller groups. They had like 5 people and they all died.
Yeah.
So it was like they showed the death scene before they showed his hypothesis. So we already knew that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, it was
We knew we
also
already
saying
had
it
to
was going
revisit.
down into smaller and smaller groups were activating it.
Right. But I was just saying, like, the story progress, it was kind of weird. They should have showed him. I think they should have showed the guys from Princeton dying after he came up with the hypothesis of
Probably.
it needing to be
Yeah.
smaller. Just so that you're not like, we already know small groups don't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other part was when they saw the dead bodies down across the road. Hey, you've got those binoculars in the back from when you were spying on the neighbors.
I loved that.
Okay.
You know, you know, Hot Dog Fam.
Hot Dog Fam is lit.
Hot Dog Fam is lit. Yeah, I can believe it with them when they go on rants about hot dogs and plants.
Yeah, that's my other after credit scene that I wish, even though they died. Like,
We
could
don't
have
know that they
kept-
died.
Could we have
I'm
kept
just saying.
Hot Dog Fam alive and had like a combined Hot Dog Fam and Mrs. Jones after credit scene? Because
Where they're just talking to plants
yeah, that'd be great. And they're eating hot dogs, cold hot dogs.
with mustard on them. I like mustard on mine.
And then I want to see them like
Don't.
drinking the fake wine from the model home. Like,
That was pretty good. They all were so confused. I'm like, it's the whole time. I'm like, it's a model home. It's a model home.
I know, but also, okay, so yeah, they go in, they're all so confused, and I was like, hold up. They just said this town is not on the map, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Why is there this giant model home that
For
looks like it's
$300,000.
freshly built out in the middle of nowhere? This is bullcrap. There's no, it's not, they only do that for neighborhoods, so like,
Yep.
where's this model home randomly at?
Also, he pulls off, like, at one point, he's got his hand on the bookshelf, and he just pulls a prop off, like Mark Wahlberg does before he starts talking to the
Right.
plant. And I know Sam's like, what?
yeah.
What?
So this was before we had seen everything as a model. So I'm like, hold up, was that like a mess up? Like he actually, like they forgot to fill the bookshelf with books, and they filled it with like this fake book looking prop, and he just like pulls it out, and they're like, fuck it, we'll keep it in. And so I started writing that down, and then like I figured, like they figured out it was a model
Yeah.
home, but I was like,
Yeah.
I would have much preferred it if it wasn't a model
Like
home,
he
and they
accidentally
just kept
pulled it
that
out
in
like,
there.
know.
oh shit, yeah. Like put it back.
Like,
Yeah.
he didn't, like, as a science teacher, you would have expected him to be like, this is odd. I'm going to have to create a hypothesis about this and start experimenting and then analyze the data.
Yeah. Come on, douchebag.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I also want you guys to know that M. Night wrote this lead character thinking of Mark Wahlberg.
Really?
Oh.
He wanted Mark Wahlberg to play this guy.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
And I'm like, I'm just thinking of the Sunny episode where they try and write an M. Night Shyamalan script and try to make Dolph Lundgren a scientist
Who can
Yeah.
smell crime?
who can smell crime. Which is funny because Dolph Lundgren actually has a degree in science, but that's besides the point.
Oh. Marky Mark doesn't.
Marky Mark does not.
Oh.
Tim, do you got anything else? I'm gonna do some facts real quick.
Let's see. Bees? You guys remember? Because they're like, gotta save the bees? Bees? So I had to bring that up. But
Yes. Real quick, bees is our, like, everybody has one of these cards with their group of friends. If you played bees when you play
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity, I blanked on it. It was an automatic win card.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you played it with one of the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Bees?
Bees?
I have my favorite quote from the movie. I think it was Zooey Deschanel that said it.
She said something?
I don't like this woman. There's something exorcisty about her.
Yes,
that's pretty accurate.
And I was like, oh god, yeah, that's real.
She kind of nails that.
I get those vibes.
Did you have a favorite quote, Sam?
Oh, no. I didn't have a favorite quote. I had favorite delivery of quotes, as I already discussed.
What? No.
What? No. You lied to me? I'm working on my Mark Wahlberg impressions. I already got the furrowed brow down. That's pretty much my
She
everyday
nails
look.
that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly confused by other people.
Yeah.
But continue.
But M. Night, when he was making this movie, he apparently said, "We're making an excellent B movie. That is our goal."
I like that.
Like a B-level movie, he expected it.
He's making a movie about bees, and he had to pivot really quickly to plants.
That's true.
No,
that's
I know
true.
it's B-level, but it would be
Yeah,
funny if
he
it was bees.
was expecting it to be a B-level movie that some people would laugh at because it was so bad it was funny. And I'm like, did you think about this while you were editing it and be like, oh God, what have I done?
That actually kind of puts it into perspective more.
I don't believe he meant to do that.
But he said that he did.
Yeah, but he said that after he made the movie.
Oh. It's like that lady for Hellboy that said that she expects it to be a cult classic.
Yes, exactly.
He's just trying to save their ass at the end.
So, did you see the picture at the end of the movie? We haven't even gotten to the end, sorry. So, at the end of the movie...
It ended?
Just abruptly, yeah.
But continue.
Jess had... Alma is handing a picture of Jess's mom and dad, Julian, and her mom, to put in her book bag. That was actually her mother.
Oh.
Like,
Nice.
the actor, the three of them all got together for a picture for that. I was like, that's a nice little thing right there.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
And then she also had an Avatar: The Last Airbender book bag, which is a foreshadowing of his next film that did not actually ever come to theaters. The Last Airbender never made it.
Yeah, we didn't go see it in theaters together.
The
or
three of us,
anything like
well,
that.
there were four, but yeah, nope, that never happened. There is no Last Airbender movie.
Nope.
The Happening happened.
The
And
Happening
erased our
happened.
memories of it.
Yeah, and did you know that this movie and Signs, another M. Night movie, had the exact same tagline of "It's happening"?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like they should have changed it for The Happening.
Yeah.
The Happening. It's happening. Once again,
That's
okay,
just
that
silly.
is the same guy that was in charge of the white on white, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Come on. You had one job. You couldn't
Yeah.
think of another word.
It's happening.
Yeah. It's the Haps. Isn't
Now,
that what Tim said?
do you guys think?
Haps.
Yes, he did.
The Haps.
Do you think this was a box office bust or no?
No.
Sam's thinking.
I kind of
What is
feel
she
like
thinking?
more people... I didn't see the trailer, but I think that more people were jazzed for it, so I'm going
Yeah.
to say no.
Okay.
This isn't his height, and yeah, I think
Oh, it is.
M. Night was
it was not a box
very
office
popular
bust.
at the time.
Budget of $48 million.
Mm-hmm.
Made $163.4
Yeah.
million
Yeah.
in the box office. They made $28 million in home DVD sales.
But how many people walked out of the theater?
I don't know.
He got their money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can. There's always the rumor that you can go demand a refund.
Yeah, but
There
who
it
does
is.
that?
Yeah.
I
Old
don't know.
people? Bees?
Bees? Did you guys like the ending though, where it was spreading
Yes.
right before it spread to Europe? You had the news host basically being like, "It's just a sham."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is feeling really close to home right now, guys." And that is all I will say on that topic. But I will say the scientist looked scared as shit because he was
stupid
shaking
science
the whole
bitch.
time. Stupid science nerd. What a nerd.
Nerd.
Well, I think that, you kind of got to feel for him, right? Because, he has to sit there and try to tell people what's going on, even though he has no idea, right?
Right.
And then,
It's just a theory
it comes
that's
out.
going to get written down in a book.
Right. And then, it comes out, and people are like, but you said this, this, and this. And he's like, I don't know.
It was a theory.
What did he say? It's it was an event from nature or something, or like a cataclysmic event or something. Like, you guys got to wrap your head around that. Like, so you kind of got a feel for him, but at the same time, I absolutely did not.
Yeah. Okay. Cast time. Elliot Moore, played by Mark Wahlberg. Wow.
What? No.
What? No.
That's the hot dog guy, right?
Everyone's dead.
That's not the hot dog guy. He is the fighter. He is in the movie Ted. The Other Guys, which is one of Tim's favorites.
Yes.
Boogie Nights. He got nominated for an Oscar for the movie The Departed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
People like that movie.
He produced McMillions.
Yes, I did know that.
And if you've ever seen the show Entourage, it's like basically based off of Mark Wahlberg's like experience with Hollywood. It's an enjoyable show.
He also owns Wahlburgers,
He does.
which I've never been to.
I've never been to either.
Nope.
I feel like I should go with all my beef patties.
Yeah, you should. Maybe you should be like, so I don't think you should ever play a science teacher again.
I don't think
Thanks.
you should ever challenge yourself and get away from your typecast. That's just
Enjoy the typecast.
Speaking of which, he's in like a shitty movie right now that people are like pissed that he's
Patriot
in that
Day.
movie for.
Patriots
and he's
Day.
just They can't have it both ways. Okay, people, I'm calling you out. You can't be pissed that he plays a science teacher and then be pissed when he plays the same shit that he plays all over again. You
Yeah.
can't have it
Yeah.
both ways. Pick one. Be pissed that he made Wahlburgers or something. I don't know.
Alma Moore was played by Zooey Deschanel, or how does Tim say it?
Dash Channel.
Dash Channel. She was Jess in New Girl, which apparently threw Tim off. 500 Days of Summer, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Elf. And a weird random factoid about her life is her brother is an Oscar-winning cinematographer.
What?
He did Passion of the Christ.
Oh, interesting.
Never seen that, actually.
Me either.
It's long.
Julian, our boy Julian, was played by John Leguizamo. Can't say his last name. But he was in the Moulin Rouge.
Oh,
He's the dwarf.
Okay. But what else is he in?
Oh, I will tell you,
Thank
Samantha.
you.
He was in Romeo and Juliet, another Baz Luhrmann film. He was in John Wick, Tim. Do you know who he is in that?
No. I'm drawing.
It took me a second. I'm 95% sure it's this guy. In John Wick, the dudes steal John Wick's car, and then they're like, he takes it to a body shop, and the dude's like, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot
That's
who you
him?
were talking about. I was picturing Hot Dog Man in my brain, but
Hot dog.
But yeah, that's him, right?
yeah, I
That's him?
recognize that, yeah.
And then he's in the movie The Pest. And then he has a series of, I think it's 5 or 6 now, Ice Age. He's Sid.
What?
He's Sid the
Okay.
Sloth.
Sid the
I
Sloth
didn't know
does
that. That's
math
amazing.
problems.
Right? I loved it.
Oh, nice.
Going on, Mrs. Jones is played by Betty Buckley. She's in Split.
What?
Yes, she is.
She's the doctor,
She's the doctor.
his therapist. Yeah.
What?
Karen Fletcher, I
My
want to say that's her
mind is
name.
blown.
She was in the OG Carrie
What?
in a movie called Frantic. And her nickname?
Is lady that smashes her head in the window?
Close. The voice of Broadway.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
What?
Josh is
Mrs. Jones. What a hidden gem.
Right?
Josh is played by Spencer Breslin, and you're like, why do I care about fucking Josh?
Yeah, I've heard that name, I feel like.
He is in the movie The Kid with Bruce Willis.
Okay. Maybe I haven't
Or
heard
The
that
Cat in the Hat.
No.
The creepy Michael
Yeah, I remember.
Myers one, yeah.
I
And then
don't
he's in the Santa Claus 2 and 3. The nursery owner, that is literally his name, the hot dog man.
What? Why didn't they name him the hot dog man?
Right. It was
The
played by-
nursery owner's not good enough. People don't remember that. But continue.
No, I know. He is played by Frank Collison, he was in Twin Peaks, the new one.
What? I bet he
is-
has a hot dog rant there too.
He's Noah in Silicon Valley. Noah is the next door neighbor to Erlich Bachman,
Who has all the ferrets?
He has all the ferrets, which Erlich is like, oh, you can't have ferrets in California. There's apparently a weird state law.
Oh my god, I gotta go watch that episode after this.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yes, great movie.
He's in a TV show called Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
What?
Like a bunch of episodes of that. It's an older show. You've never seen it. Don't worry about it.
Clearly not.
And he is the nursery owner in The Village. He has the exact same role in The Village.
That's amazing. He does not do a hot dog rant there, I don't think.
No.
I'm a little sad about it now.
I know, right?
I know, right? The principal at Marky Mark's school is played by Alan Ruck, also known as Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sam, do you know what other stuff is he in?
He's Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
That's all Sam cares about.
That
or
he
Dean
came
Bowman.
on screen and I was like, it's Cameron.
Or Dean Bowman
Dean Bowman.
in Greek.
Yes.
He's in Speed, Twister, and then Star Trek Generations.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I've actually not seen a single Star Trek movie. No, that's a lie. I've seen the new one. Not the new ones. I've only seen the first one.
Right.
So, I've not seen any of the old school, like, true Star Trek movies. Tim, I'm going to just say I know you have.
Yeah.
But, so those are all I have for the cast, but this movie won 3 awards.
Nice.
Was nominated for, like, 9 others.
Okay.
How many Razzies do you think it won?
At least 1.
0.
Really?
Really?
It was nominated for 5.
You know, honestly,
4.
that's kind of harsh from me because I think there's a lot worse out there. Like I said in the beginning, this movie just I like the idea of it, just wasn't executed well, and I can easily say that it's a better movie than fucking Bird Box.
See, I haven't
That's
seen
a hot
Bird
take.
Box.
Came
And I
out.
refuse to see Bird Box
It's
because
so
I thought it looked
garbage.
stupid.
Anyway, go on.
So it was nominated for 4 Razzies: Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Director,
Worst
Worst
disregard
Screenplay.
for human life and property?
No,
Damn it! I feel like they could have won that one.
they lost. They lost to like The Love Guru and In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Tale.
I mean, I kind of feel like The Love Guru was shit. I never saw it, but
That's false. You and I watched it together.
okay, well, it must have been shit.
It was not great. You also hate Mike Myers,
I do.
so it's a really weird relationship because I love Shrek and she doesn't. Anyways, but it won It won the Internet Film Critics Society Worst Film Award. The
Who is that?
I don't know.
They just made that up.
The International Film Music Critics Award for Best Original Score for a Horror and Thriller.
Really? I feel like the score was forgettable because I don't.
Yeah.
I actually like, but that's because he used the same score as he uses in all of his movies.
But also, I just very much remember the whoosh of the wind more so than anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
But
Well,
continue.
and then there's the ASCAP Film and TV Awards. That's also, they are a group that does, it's like sound based.
Oh.
So that won the top box office film award.
Okay.
I don't know.
Also made up.
But apparently the music did well that year.
I mean, all right.
It lost these awards. Saturn Award for Best Horror Movie.
Shocker.
It
Yeah.
was up for Best Horror Film.
That's interesting. What was it against that year?
I
wonder?
don't know. But then it also
Paranormal
lost to the Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Worst Film.
What?
Yeah, it's really weird to me because it's nominated for Worst Film and Best Horror Film.
At the same time.
So were there no horror films coming out in 2008?
Right. I don't know. I feel like that's around when Paranormal Activity was around, but
Yeah.
That was 2009 though.
was it? So
So,
still same
yeah.
kind of area, but
But it was nominated for a Golden Schmo for Worst Movie and Biggest Disappointment.
Oh, Golden Schmo.
It was up for the the International Film Music Critics Award for Film Music Composition.
Okay.
So another music award that it almost won.
Interesting.
And then it won. No, it was nominated for World Stunt Awards. So I did not know that there were stunt awards given, but this won the best high work because they had to figure out how to do 100-foot falls of these people
yeah.
with wires and everything. So it was
Oh,
nominated
true.
for that.
Nice. So just to put it into perspective, 2008 popular horror movies, Cloverfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I love that movie.
And then
I would not put them in the same league.
I
would
feel
not
like
either.
I feel like I saw previews for The Eye.
The fuck is that?
Exactly. I feel like I saw previews for that. Quarantine, I definitely saw previews for.
Yeah.
I've been playing that recently.
I've been wanting... You're ridiculous. I've been wanting to see The Midnight Meat Train. It's on Netflix. But
What?
it has Bradley Cooper in it.
Oh, I know why you want to see it.
Prom Night. I remember seeing trailers for that. But, like, they're still making Anaconda sequels in 2008 as well.
There are like 4 or 5 of them.
So, like, I feel like the big hit of that year was, like, Cloverfield. Like, the rest of them, I feel like, are still kind of... Oh, they made one called Red Mist. I don't know if it's the same. But, like, the rest of it kind of... And then Saw was on 5 at that point. Also,
was it really already on 5?
It was already
they were
on 5.
churning those out like crazy.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm not too shocked that it was nominated, because the only other one that was good was Cloverfield.
Yeah. All right, Tim, we're going to get to flipping it on or off. Sad to say, I need to know your answer.
I love Shyamalan, and I definitely forgot that we also watched Lady in the Water right after this, because it's one of my absolute favorite movies. Anyway,
Obsessed.
if you're looking for like...
Obsessed!
Yeah. If you're looking for a Shyamalan Ding Dong movie, not this one. Flip it off.
What?
JK.
I was going to
flip
flip it off
just
as...
because like, it's a movie that was like so hyped, but the hype was so much hate that you have to watch it to hate it yourself. So I would say flip it on if you want to really just be like, it's a good bad movie, I guess. It's a bad I don't know. Just I just like seeing people's reactions. So
he likes to see hate.
I say flip it on just to watch it. If you can find it and not have to pay for it.
True.
I say flip it off. Just nothing happens in the happening.
That's a good way to put it.
That's true. You mean it doesn't happen? Or whatever the tagline was? It's happening?
It's happening. It's a false statement.
Nothing happens. I'm actually going to take the defense of this movie. I think you should flip it on. Like, Swept Away was so much worse.
I'm not saying it was worse. At this
point in my life, I've seen so much worse than this movie.
Yep.
And a lot of the things that I think that are done poorly are just like what happens. They're pitfalls of this type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
You either
What?
make
No.
you either make it this
think it's a maple
imaginary...
tree.
Yeah. You either make this imaginary thing amazing, right? Like The Blob, or you over-explain it and it is crazy. So, I don't know. I definitely feel like I've seen worse. And, like, if not anything else, I feel like you should turn it on for the what knows.
What?
Everybody's
No.
dead. Mark Wahlberg's confused look. Like, there's a lot of wins to this movie.
So, yeah,
Mrs. Jones, she's a gem.
So is that a yes for you?
Yes, you should flip it on if you want to see somebody smash their head into a window repeatedly. You should flip it on if you like to solve math problems when you're stressed out. You should flip it on if you like mood rings.
Flip it off if you don't like seeing people dead.
Yeah, I mean, that is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, like, if you're not into that thing.
You should flip it on if you like very big wind fans.
Well, if you are, like, into
ASMR
nature.
wind noises.
Yeah.
If you just, yeah.
Think about how great this movie would be if you just turned it on the background and it was like your Zen wind movie.
I'm really curious as to how many minutes of the movie are just of the wind.
A lot. Yeah, so flip it on.
So blowing us into next week, we got Tim up to bat.
Oh, nice segue.
Thanks, dog. So we're gonna spin this wheel.
Spin it.
Sam, you got this. All right. Will we get something new today? Oh, snap. New category.
Yeah.
Daily trend.
Wait.
So what the daily trend is, we're going to go to Google and see what is happening in Google this week. And Tim is going to have to pick a movie that kind of loosely,
relates to the trend.
very loosely relates to the
So
trend.
if The Happening was trending, we get to watch it again. I'm just kidding. It's not going to be.
Repeat.
How do you get to the trend on Google?
If you can just Google daily trends. It's pretty easy.
All right. Well,
But yeah. Well,
don't you want to tell people what the daily trends
No, I
for the day
don't.
are?
I really don't.
He doesn't have to pick right now, but
It's
I
just
do
that
think people should know the daily trends on this particular day. Deshaun Jackson,
So, Deshaun Jackson of the Philadelphia Eagles.
TikTok, Lysol disinfectant spray. Can you please pick that one?
So I had to pick a movie based on this.
Yes.
Novavax stock, Bolsonaro.
That's it. Just top 5.
So those, please pick Lysol disinfectant spray.
But yeah, so we're going to have a...
Movie based
Tim is going to
on
pick a movie.
those.
Just it has to relate to it and can be very loose. Like if somebody uses Lysol disinfectant in the movie, it'll count.
No, I really want you to pick a movie that was sponsored by Lysol disinfectant spray, and every scene has Lysol in the background. Do that. Make that happen for me. You got some good stuff here. I think you can do it.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us here on Flipper Flicks.
Adam said
I am.
See ya.
Bye-bye.